bush, which we saw Wicked walking into just a few days ago.
Yeah, you just can't afford to do stuff like that, and I don't think we're going to see that out of these Korean teams, but you know, as the day wears on, you get tired and you can fall into those little traps of unconcentrated moments, let's call them. But right at the start, we're not seeing too much happening there. A couple of wards being put down on this top side. They've actually pinged here CJ Blaze. They know that that ward is down as they put one right on top. They did actually have a pink ward at his disposal there, which kind of surprised me that they didn't clear it out. We've been seeing a lot from the Europeans doing exactly that.
Yeah, we saw Lasher putting the Explorer ward out towards the Wraith area now, and now he's just put the main ward out. So just using that Explorer ward early on. As it is, we don't have those down. Ambition has one of those in his bag as well as Lustboy. So we'll get to see those coming out early. Lilac, of course, taking away those Wraiths. He's going to be setting himself up, going across towards that red buff. So we are going to see the duo lane going towards the top. Also, Flame is going to be a straight-on 2v1. Good old meta shift in pretty much standard stuff these days, honestly. Helios going to be stunning off on the red buff, so both junglers on the same path.
Yeah, Helios actually going a little bit low from this one, but obviously he's not going to be dying. These guys aren't quite that bad at my level of jungling. Let's say I'd have been dead right there. So
we have an invade here.
Yeah, we are going to have this invade coming down the red side of LGIM, moving in towards Blazer's blue buff, and actually are going to start off here with Lilac and Lasher. I'm not seeing any kind of reaction out of Blaze as of yet. They can't really move down. Volibear's actually going in towards that bottom lane. We'll probably try and cross over towards the blue himself, but his is already gone.
Yeah, he's going to be going in. He has got the smite, so he should be able to take this one down. The smite was used by Lilac as well to take away that blue buff. It looks like he's actually hanging as he's not backing. He's just waiting there, waiting to see whether the jungler's going to come across, waiting to see whether Ryze is going to come maybe over and try and help him out, expecting to see whether Ambition goes for it. Instead, it looks like it's going to be that classic 3-minute dive on towards the top lane. Lilac getting himself set up. It's going to be Flame he goes towards, but Ashen is a very hard champion to dive towards. How Lilac is going to be able to pull this one off, we don't know. Doesn't look like it's going to be the reverse. Meanwhile, for Volibear, Helios we can see backing away. He's going towards the Wraiths. The ping goes down. They realise that actually bottom is safe, so Smeb is going to be safe. We'll see how this one plays out, Joe.
This is going to be very interesting. Flame's got to get away from this one as he actually dashes in towards Lilac. Ezreal going to follow in there, and there is a flash burn from Flame.
Yeah, he manages to get away. Ignite was also used out, but he does survive, and it does mean that 3-man push on towards the top tower. Will they be able to take it down? The pressure, of course, on that bottom lane, not as strong. Helios, though, is going to counter this one. This is what we've talked about in the European scene lately. Obviously, North American have had a lot of these lane switches, and it can be countered. If the jungler comes and helps you out, you can save that turret, and that's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, man, right now, with the help of Helios, they've at least saved it for now, down to half HP. In the bottom lane, Captain Jack and Lustboy are actually pushing in towards that tower as well, as we see a bit of damage exchange in the middle lane. But, well, 2 men versus 3, this Irelia obviously just going to be soaking up as much farm as Smeb can in this situation, putting out a couple of hits on his way through there onto Lustboy, but it's all about saving this tower, and at this rate, they're going to end up losing this one.
I'm interested to see Ambition obviously going to be tested a little bit down this mid lane, because Mid King is actually on Cassiopeia is a pretty good counter to Ryze. So it'll be interesting purely between the two teams whether he's simply selected that. Smeb actually goes straight towards Caitlyn's trap there. Thought Captain Jack may well try and follow that one on. We did see, of course, the power cord coming out. Lilac, though, going to come around in towards the mid lane. We do see Ambition. He is pretty heavily deep in there. Is he going to try and flash through? He's had to force the flash away. So Lilac again making another flash burn.
Yeah, another flash down, and well, we know how devastating that can be a little bit later on down the lines when those flashes aren't anymore available. Lasher just going to back off from Paragon. Right now, Captain Jack is still pushing here. His traps keep being set. Smeb up to back up to 3/4 of his health remaining now, so the question is, how fast can they push into this one? They're keeping the jungler in the top lane here, CJ Blaze. They want to make sure that they don't end up losing that one, and here we see Ambition coming down now. Actually will spot Lilac there in that tri-bush, but that may be enough for them to get the first turret of the game with this one. Just the presence of Ambition going to force that bottom lane away, and this is surely first turret for Blaze.
Great play from CJ Blaze there, and they do manage to just protect out and cover that turret, so they are going to get the first turret of the game. Captain Jack's going to farm it out, make sure, see if they can keep them away from lane as long as possible. Meanwhile, the top lane is completely defending it out there, and it will be the first one going down shortly. So simply a case of the mid laner helping things out, and they are going to take it down eventually, Joe. It's going to go. There it is, first hour of the game for CJ Enters Blaze.
Yeah, it was Captain Jack just making sure he got the every last bit of farm there at that bottom lane. As we are going to see Helios going charging in there. Ezreal just arcane shifts away. You don't want to get flung into the turret by that bear.
No, that bear wanted to get straight aggressive on him, and Paragon was quick to react to that one. Of course, you know, you can have that issue if you actually arcane shift that split second too late. You will go, and then it'll still fling you all the way back in towards that tower. It's such a critical arcane shift from Paragon there. Would have definitely been almost certainly a dead Ezreal.
Yeah, especially with the fact that Shen's there to taunt him up right underneath that tower. As well as that lane is going to be swapped back into by Captain Jack and Lustboy. They've already done the business down in the bottom lane and taken that first turret away. Irelia is actually farming down there. If we look at those 2v1 lanes, you know, the Irelia and Shen both have 21 CS apiece, so they've kept it even on that front. Caitlyn is just a little bit further ahead than Ezreal, but he's obviously backed off and going to be coming back into lane. As King going for a little bit of wonder here. It's just to get the ward down onto that bottom side, make sure that he doesn't get pushed from the bottom.
Well, you do see Captain Jack in it. See, how are they going to switch this around? Because actually, Paragon has gone back to the top here, so they're not going to try and pressure. It's simply a case of defending duty now. Can they keep Captain Jack away from this turret? He's got a 10 CS lead with the obviously advantage he gained down that bottom lane when he did force the top laner, or Smeb, I guess we can just say. We say top laner when they do switch lanes so often. Did force him out of the lane, but also you see Flame obviously was pressured. He lost a lot of CS in that exchange. As it is, Smeb only gone back. He got the Crystalline Flask and the Thorn's Blade. Aggressive stuff. Flame, meanwhile, building up towards probably it's either going to be the League of Warmogs or it's going to be a Sunfire Cape. Pretty standard build from them. Nothing unusual really being built out across the teams. Ambition obviously gone with that Tear of the Goddess, going to stack that one out. Double Doran's Rings, meanwhile, for Mid King in that mid lane. And actually keeping Ambition fairly well in check. Of course, Cassiopeia is a very, very strong lane pusher, so you'd expect to see Ambition up against his turret a lot here.
Yeah, doing a good job of that, certainly. Mid King up until this point. We're 8 minutes into it. If you look at the goal difference, only at 300. No first blood, of course, up until now. We do have the first turret already taken down, though, by CJ Blades. And I know you guys are already getting ready for the drinking games here. How many times we say Frost by accident, how many times we say Azubu by accident. But that's just natural. What can we say? It's going to be a long day here, as we are going to see that blue buff being given over here to Mid King, just held off there by Lilac, and it looks like the same will happen for Blaze as well.
So he does return back to the mid lane, and we do see obviously Ambition coming around to pick up the red of his own. Invade comes out from Lilac. He's going in towards. He's going to try and steal away that red buff as it is, and he may well be able to get this one because obviously Helios helping out on that blue buff. It means Lilac's taking advantage. That's a pure speed difference that they had there, and the ability he can get around. He's come in, stole it, and got the hell out of there.
Yep, and Helios there actually just going in to do his raids first of all. So we've just seen him obviously go through that ward. So he knows that that red buff has now been taken away from him. In this top lane, Captain Jack and Lustboy doing a good job of pressing. I mean, we know how strong a Caitlyn Sona lane is for pushing your opponents back there, so no real surprises. He's got roughly a 10 CS, and as I say roughly, it's exactly a 10 CS lead there as Captain Jack, plus doing the work with that tower down. Still only means a 200 gold difference between them though.
Yeah, interesting setup from Lilac here as well. He's going straight for the Brutalizer, not hanging around. He wants to get the damage down. There's a ward and a couple of pots coming out, so he hasn't gone towards it yet. He's got the boots in there as well. He looks like he's going to be going towards top. He's already pinged that top lane, so it looks like they're going to try and set up a gank in this top lane. Captain Jack keeping the pressure on towards that turret. He's already took a good half the health of it there. As soon as he gets that passive snipe straight on towards Lasher, keeps him at bay. Lilac looks like he's going to take the golems before coming up here, but the pressure really on his turret right now. Getting another Piltover Peacemaker put across Paragon. They are keeping him at bay. Ward goes down. There's a pink in the tri-bush as well, so we are going to see a potential gank here if they can make it count.
Thing is, you can see that Blaze are starting to back away a little bit. That ward going down. They're going to be very cautious. They've not seen Zed for a while, as we are going to see the ping come down. Captain Jack is going to be the one to try and escape, and he just turned around, put the pressure onto Lilac, and he couldn't really get involved there. Yeah, the rest of the team weren't quite on the same page there, and that was simple ward that Lustboy had only just placed. Spotted him straight away, so great timing there from Lustboy, and he tries to turn the damage back on there, spots Lilac, and then just going to back out of that lane.
simply a case of LGIM protecting as much as they can here. And as it is, they're just slowly but surely losing out. We are seeing Smeb, he's gone for the mallet to start with. So is he going to be rushing a Triforce? That would be a very aggressive Aurelia. Something, obviously, we did see Aurelia the other day in the LCS, and well, he went straight for the Warmugs, I believe it was. So first items been different between the Korean teams and the European teams so far.
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing to really note in there as well, that obviously with the Season 3 stuff, we saw the Koreans playing first, then we saw the Europeans get involved, as Flame actually down in this bottom lane is going to come under a little bit of pressure. We can see that Blaze actually managing to take that top turret down finally, as we did see Zed come in from the bottom side. In that bottom lane though, Shen and Irelia did have a bit of a matchup, but as you can expect when the Giants belt's in there for Shen and that chain vest, not really a lot going on.
Not a lot going on, but we do see the Catalyst and Protector being picked up by Ambition. Sorcerer's shoes picked up this time by Mid-King as he backs off. Lilac trying to catch Captain Jack out and force him. Say, no, you're not backing away. Net shots across, and he will back off quite successfully. So Lilac not really having a great deal of success coming out of the jungles so far on Zed. Hasn't been able to pick up any kills. Did force those flashes early on, but nothing really followed up from it. This time we do see Smeb coming in towards the mid lane. Ambition, of course, with that flash back available, still actually hasn't used his teleport either to go anywhere, which is something we've seen a lot in the Europeans, certainly thinking of extermin from Giants with teleport and Rise all the time. As it is, Ambition quite happy to stay in that middle, doesn't want to let Mid-King push his tower.
Well, that's the problem that he's had. The bottom lane, would they be able to lock an Irelia down at this stage? Probably not. And top lane's been pushed constantly. So there's not really much room for Ambition up till now to be able to get involved there. But we've seen that even if it doesn't get used this early game, later when we go in there, you see him teleporting into the backside of team fights and what have you, and that can really throw things. As finally we see an attempt here on Dragon. 3 men from Blaze. Oh, there we just saw Mid-King, and you see the damage already that he can put out onto Captain Jack. Double Doran's Ring, Amp Tome, and these Sorcerer's Shoes up until now. But this Dragon is going to be going down, and it will be smited away there by Helios. Smeb just came around to have a look, and nothing for the taking. Ambition actually having to go up into this top lane now to cover up, because with that Dragon take, they were left vulnerable in the top lane, but he's going to hold it. Nicely done here from Blaze. Yeah,
Ambition's just covering off this mid lane while the duo pair of Captain Jack and Lustboy, who've already taken 2 turrets, move in towards the mid lane, and that mid lane now turret is already been taking some damage, and Mid-King now is going to be pressured here. We do see, of course, Lilac getting ready to try and get a gank on towards Captain Jack, but he is a very, very slippery champion on Caitlyn. He obviously has that 90 caliber net. He has flash available, has exhaust as well. So keeping the pressure down. Lilac helping out, going to get a quick blue buff there for Mid-King because he has to back away. You can already see the moment it happened, Captain Jack stepped straight up, put some shots on towards that turret. Lasher looking like he's going to have to switch around with Paragon. You can see they're moving in towards that mid lane, and they're going to have to defend this one out. We do see Ambition also moving across towards that blue, so it looks like the lanes are going to switch around a little bit.
Yeah, and Blaze wanted to make sure that they don't end up losing that blue buff on the top lane. It's down in the bottom, actually, again. Smeb and Flame have not really looked at that lane too much because it is one of those face basher lanes where not really too much happens. In terms of the CS, though, Irelia is starting to build out that lead now. Sunfire Cape is finished on Shen, so that should give him a little bit more to work with in this lane as Lustboy in the middle, taking a lot of damage. Ultimate whiff there, but we've got Paragon coming in. There's a True Shot Barrage coming out as well, but they stay safe. Still no first blood, almost 15 minutes in.
Good pressure from Mid-King there, forcing actually the 90 caliber net, and the 90 caliber net towards Paragon and Lasher, and actually they nearly made it count. Wasn't quite to be though, and again still no kills in this game. 15 minutes gone, and the irony is that, you know, we talk about how aggressive the Koreans are. We do see a teleport coming in, Ambition going in towards Lasher. Could be Crescendo going across there as we get Incredible Miracle flashing up on the screen, but they're going to try and get the first blood here. Will it happen? Yes, it will. There it is. Captain Jack gets one. That's going to be a second as well. Paragon goes down, but you did see Mid-King manage to pick up a kill on Helios, and it's a triple kill for Captain Jack as he puts the ace in the hole on Lilac.
That is really bad now for LGIM. 3 kills coming down for the AD carry. Obviously, we did see Volibear go down to Cassiopeia in the meantime. That's going to give him the Giant's belt plus the revolver, but Blaze looking to take their 3rd turret of the game here. They already have the bottom and top outer turrets down. The middle outer turret going to fall here as well. And you can probably expect CJ Blaze to start getting up in towards that LGIM jungle, getting those wards down and really strangle holding the map.
Yeah, and Captain Jack now is going to have a massive chunk of gold. He's already built up towards that Bloodthirster. Bloodthirster will come out any second. The moment he backs off, and you can see he's just passing that ward, they realise he's backing. Not a great deal they can do. So 3 turrets to 1. True Shot Barrage might be able to stop him. Just has to dodge out of the way of it. And, well, LGIM are going to maybe try and pressure with a 4-man push and try and get this turret down. He does already put a bit down, but I don't think they're really going to have enough to tank it. We do see Lilac maybe going towards it, and well, Flame was just off the side there, taking the Wraith, so Lilac can't go on any invades, and LGIM are forced to back away. So pressure all coming from CJ Enter's plays so far.
Yeah, and you look at the gold difference now, how that suddenly crept up. We were hanging around 200-300 difference the entire time, and it's like, bam, okay, there we go. Almost a 5k gold lead for them with 16 minutes. And it was at 50 minutes I was talking about, you know, for no first blood and 200 gold difference between them. Lustboy there moving up towards the race. Actually, they were just backing right on top of a ward. So CJ Blaze right now doing a great job here in match number 1. Obviously, this group stage is a long, drawn-out affair. But we also should mention something that we've not had to rely on in a little while since Brazil. The timings make a difference at the end of the group series. We are going to see Paragon getting caught out in that top lane, and he will just about get away with it.
Well, nuclear bomb landed on Paragon there as you see Ambition trying to take him down. Lilac, of course, clearing out those wraiths, but it's the mid lane where a lot of it's happening. It was Captain Jack, the man currently with a Bloodthirster, went back, got a Zeal as well, so massively ahead currently in terms of gold. 3-0 in kills, the all 3 kills in the game, all gone to that 1 AD carry. Ace in the hole coming out, having to use the shield there, does manage to get through, but forces Lasher back now, trying to keep the pressure down. Looking like they're going to try and steal away the Wraiths there. We do see Mid King coming around, he's going to try and put the pressure back on Lustboy. Crescendo misses there on Mid King, and Lustboy trying to take advantage there, but Paragon comes around to protect him. But that ultimate is going to be down now. Can LGIM try and make something from it?
Well, let's have a look. As we are going to see Cassiopeia trying to push this lane back. Ezreal was just in there behind them as well. Top lane Zed actually just backing right on top of a ward. Rise knows that, and as he stops backing, he's still going to be stood on top of a ward. So Ambition knows that position is there. Doesn't have flash or teleport available. Obviously it was used in that last little exchange in the middle lane. He now has, of course, that Rod of Ages with his Sorcerer's Shoes and Distortion on there to reduce the mainly his teleport and flash.
Yeah, it's something we haven't seen. I don't think any European teams do yet. It's pretty much always been, oh, Lash is caught out, he's going to go down. It's going to be Flame that surely picks it up. Yes, he will. There it is. It's tanking the turret out as well. Meanwhile, at the top there, Smeb also pressured by Ambition. Bottom turret does go down. And again, CJ Enters continue to push through. I should say Blaze because there is 2 CJ Enters in this tournament.
Yeah, at least we didn't call him a Zubu yet, though. No. Yet, I will stress. But either way, with that inner turret in the bottom lane taken down, Blaze are going to be gifted that blue buff over as well. That will actually go on to Caitlyn. I don't think they really mind who it went to. It was just a case of getting hold of it. But now they move straight back over and are going to be taking Dragon number 2. And this will be the second Dragon that LGIM have just not been able to contest for. And look how the gold again has crept up. It's a 7,000 gold lead here.
Well, I'm just wondering whether Smeb's actually going to get that Trinity Force before he loses all of his turrets. He's trying to build up towards it. You can see he's already got that Sheen in there. But honestly, by the time he gets that built, you can see he's gone back. He's only got another part of the Zeal. Meanwhile, his opponent, Flame, has already nearly got that Warmog stacked out. He's already got the Sunfire Cape. He's just going to be a monster before Smeb even gets close to completing that item. So he's desperately falling behind despite the fact he's got the same CS, just not being involved in the same fights. Flame, of course, 1-0-3, helping out his team. 3-0-1, though. Captain Jack stacking out Static Shiv now on him. as the Infinity Edge still not ready. I think that's what Paragon's going towards. Could be the Bloodthirster, who's got the Vampiric Scepter in as well.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot of that pickaxe first to get that initial burst of damage, then with a Vamp set to BF Sword in towards Bloodthirster. But Captain Jack is a mile ahead in terms of the items. That Bloodthirster in there, the static shift, well, that triple kill earlier on certainly helping Captain Jack out in this matchup so far. He's going to have even better pushing power with that shiv in there as well, and won't be scared to get down and have a bit of a 1v1 if he gets the chance.
Mid-King clearing out the waves and continues to farm. Kind of a slower approach here from the Korean teams. And obviously, these teams know each other very, very well. It's going to be different to see how they change up the pace. Lilac, oh, Lustboy, he's going to get a poke. Oh, great power chord. That gets the slow straight down on Lilac and forces the pressure on him. But we do see Helios coming in. Ace in the hole comes out. Captain Jack snipes him down.
Really nicely done there by Blaze. And, well, he thought he got away with that one. Actually, the flash used there by Smeb. He wasn't having any of that one. I mean, well, why not? You've got the lockdown from Rise with the Rune Prison. You've got the flip back from the volley bet. He probably did need, in the grand scheme, to back away from that one. But look, they're just going very textbook here, CJ Blaze. They're going to move on to the next turret, which will be the inner turret in that top lane. As we see the True Shot Barrage come through. Doesn't actually do anything whatsoever. And there is that inner turret taken.
Turret goes down again, and it's 5-0 in turrets, 5-1 in kills. Massive gold advantage, 9,000 gold ambition with that Seraphim's already on him, as well as the Rod of Ages. Two major items completed, while the Ryler's Crystal only just been picked up by Mid-King. So definitely a huge difference in those mid laners, as well as the AD carries and the top laners. As it stands, CJ Enter's Blaze are looking very, very strong in their first game. Ambition caught out here though, but he's got Stan United coming in. He turns back on towards Paragon. Paragon goes down. Smeb also very low, and they back around. Oh, he's gone towards Mid-King. He might have enough damage. Just dodges out of the ultimate. Very nicely done. Helios finishes that one off. It's a double kill currently, and CJ Enter's Blaze continue to pressure the top. Captain Jack, meanwhile, he's going to take down the mid turret. That's 6 turrets now down. LGIM are floundering here. They are being forced backwards, and CJ Enter's Blaze pushing on towards the top inhibitor. Meanwhile, the middle inhibitor is being pressured by Captain Jack. They are attacking from both lanes, and there's nothing at all that LGIM can do about it.
This is just so good, so strong from Blaze. Not the most entertaining former League of Legends to watch, I'd say, but the way they're doing it is absolutely perfect there. You saw in the top lane, I mean, Ambition is pretty damn tanky already, and he's got the damage there. And he kind of just baited them in, like, all right, then you come for me. And you've always got to have in the back of your mind that Shen. He's going to join straight into the fight, and his shield already is enough there to help him out and save his teammate. And that leaves us with a 7-0 in turrets. Kills is pretty similar as well at 7-1, and they've got over a 10,000 gold lead 23 minutes in, and that's what a complete contrast to 15-minute point, not that far away when it was really equal.
They're going to go for Lilac here. You can see him, he's trying to get that Wraith out. You can expect to see a crazy bear running out of that bush. No, they've given up on it. They're allowing him to have it. He still hasn't got it. Instead, they're going to go for Lasher. Lasher's caught out. He gets dropped. Lustboy picks up the kill. It does not really matter. It's a kill nevertheless.
Yeah, and now Captain Jack coming in onto Smeb in this mid lane. He's actually going to get exhausted, locked down by the Rune Prison. Lustboy uses a crescendo to secure the kill. Obviously been watching Edward there in the LCS. Now Lilac go on in trouble as well, as we Ace in the hole does come flying out. Captain Jack unstoppable at 5-0-3.
Absolutely devastating performance here from CJ Enter's Blaze. They are destroying their Korean counterparts LGIM in this very first group game, and you've got to wonder, with such a strong performance as this is this going to dishearten LGIM in their very first game here in the European scene?
Well, I'd be disheartened if Blaze came out and did this to me in the first game, but you've kind of got to expect that from a team like Blaze as well.
Oh, nearly got the steal. It wasn't quite. I thought the smite was going to come out a little bit late there. I think Helios was kind of prepared and ready for it. Flame, though, caught on towards Mid-King. Gets the taunt down. Mid-King doing anything he can, but he's already low on mana. He was just coming around to try and pick up that blue buff, so he hasn't got the mana to try and turn it around. Can his ultimate do it? Flame so strong. Here comes Ambition. One last shot. Thank you very much. Flame just positions him nicely.
There's something wrong when your mid laner can't really do much to stop that Shen taking you down like that. As we see blue buff taken away. And earlier on we saw the trap set up in the top side, and that's just what happens when you start to lose these turrets, and the team that's pushed through has wards everywhere. Finally we're seeing some pink wards coming out of LGIM, not that they can particularly afford them at this stage of the game. Captain Jack has the blue buff given to him. We saw a bit of a chase come in there from Rise on towards Lilac, and they're desperately trying to have some vision here, because really the only real chance that they have to come back is to catch Blaze out a few times.
Well, Ambition on the hunt, looking for kills here. He's 205 and he wants some more. 5-0-3, meanwhile down the bottom lane, it's actually Flame pushing on towards Smeb. Helios comes in as well. Captain Jack rotates round. Along with him is Lust Boy. Well, as it is, Ambition continues to pressure in that mid lane. I tell a lie. Captain Jack was just soloing Dragon, but he's had the call from his team. He's like, what are you doing? We've got Baron. Let's just actually take these turrets. We've got the game in hand. And Lost Boy does take down that turret. The rest of the team stacking in towards the mid lane. We also see down the bottom Flame pushing in. We have super minions coming in the top lane. CJ Enters Blaze have this game in the palm of their hands to take it away. They're up to 15,000 gold lead right now. It is going to be the final inhibitor of the game going down. And there's the taunt on towards Mid King. He's going to get dropped in seconds. Ambition picks up the kill on that one. Smeeve now, only with that Trinity Force, has nothing to prevent Ambition coming in. Lilac goes down as well. And that is surely the game for CJ Enters Blaze. Dominant performance here. Their first game in the Intel Extreme Masters World Championships.
Well, they need a bucket of water here, LGM, and throw it over there, because they were just not awake for this one. Blaze have destroyed them without any problems whatsoever.